Hello, so we're in week 3 of this hip challenge, and the conditioning aspect of this week is focused predominantly on the hip flexors and the muscles that run down the front of the thigh. For the lengthening aspect of this week, we're going to focus quite a lot on the adductors, so the muscles that run down the inside of the thigh, and we'll just do one little one for the external rotators. Okay, so what you're going to need for this particular session is a foam block or a cookbook, thick cookbook, or something quite sturdy that you can put a little bit of weight into, not too much, okay? And then you're going to come to standing, facing the long edge of your mat. Okay, step your feet nice and wide. You can pop the block in the middle of your stance, it can come off the mat. Okay, so we're coming into a standing wide-legged forward fold to start with. I want you to turn your feet in so you feel quite pigeon-toed. And then firm the thighs, so start to draw up on the kneecaps. Good. Bring your hands to your hips. As you inhale, extend up through the crown of your head. And as you exhale, just gently fold forward from the hips. We're coming halfway. Okay, so we're keeping the shoulders level with the hips. And we start pressing through the feet. So you're starting to press the feet away from each other. It's like you're stretching the mat lengthways. And as you do that, the hamstrings begin to engage, and that's a good thing. That's what we want. You can look at a point on the floor just ahead of your eye line. We're lifting the chest. Good. Okay. And then from here, as you exhale, I want you to turn your feet out to 45 degrees, and you might need to set them a bit narrow, but we'll see how you go. So that is I would say 90, okay, and that is about 45 in relation to where our feet have been, okay. And then from here, you might turn the block on a shallower edge. Good. We're going to take an in breath, and then as you exhale, I want you to bend your right knee in the direction of the right foot, and then lift the left toes. Walk the hands across. You can bring your fingertips to the floor. So you might need the block to just lift yourselves a little bit. Okay, so if you find this a little bit too low and you want to come a bit higher, do have something just to put a little bit of weight into. Okay. And then on your next inhale, we need to come back to center. As you exhale, bend the left knee in the direction of the left foot. Lift the right toes. Good. And then start to firm your thighs. So firm your adductors. So we just start to engage these muscles here. Inhale, come back to center. As you exhale, bend the right knee, lift the left toes. And again, engage your inner thigh muscles. Nice and strong. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, bend the left knee, lift the right toe. So we're going to do this for a little while, and you can do it to whatever rhythm of your breath you like. Some people like to inhale to one side and exhale all the way to another. So you choose the pace. But the key to this is that the knee bends in the same direction as the foot, and you engage the inner thigh muscles. So feel them engaging, notice what's happening, lengthening, strengthening. Good. Keeping the extended leg nice and straight, so you might need to come a bit higher, and that's fine. Don't worry about getting low to the floor. Good. So we're going to do this one more time until you finish on the left side. And then inhale. Come back to center, turn your toes in again. We're going to come into a very brief full forward fold. So you can either bring your hands to a block. If the hands don't reach the floor, that's fine, it doesn't matter. If they do reach the floor, just walk them back so that your hands are under your shoulders and your fingertips are level with the toes. Release the head. Good. And then firm the hamstrings. Press your feet into the mat, so you're pressing the feet away from each other again. Okay, and then gently bend your knees. Bring your hands to your hips, leading with the chest. Come to standing. Set your feet together. Good. And then from here, just want you to come to sitting on your mat. And you probably want to sit lengthways, again, so that you're facing the long edge of the mat. And we're going to come into into a wide-legged seated position. Okay, so we're not staying here, so don't worry about it. Okay, I want you to start just by bending the left knee, drawing the left foot in, and pressing the sole of the left foot to the inside of the right thigh. Okay, bring it in nice and tight there, and then I want you to just gently bend the right knee. And your toes are lifted. Good. And then I want you to start to kind of press the right heel into the mat, into the floor, and just start to scooch it away. Okay, so we have an action going on here. Okay, and we're just starting to engage the hamstrings as we scooch it away. And as the knee is straightening, I then want you to firm the quads, right? So both muscles are active. Hamstrings are engaged, quads are engaged. Good. From here, just gently roll this right thigh forward. So you're just actively turning it in. Good. As you inhale, extend up. And as you exhale, just walk your fingertips a little further forward. Now you might find it more comfortable to press this left hand to the kind of left side. So you're just pressing down, but it helps to anchor the right sit bone into the mat. Keep this whole leg engaged, nice and strong. And as you're just gently leaning forward, again, you'll feel a little lengthening going into the adductor. So the last pose that we did was to bring some length and engagement to the inside of the thigh, as is this one. And we're being active, we're activating because we want to engage the hamstrings, we want to engage the quads, we want to engage the adductors. Good, we're going to take 3 more breaths. And then inhale, come back to centre. Good. Extend the left leg out to the side. And then draw the right foot in. So again, the sole of the right foot presses against the inside of the left thigh. Gently bend this left knee. And as you exhale again, you can start to just press the left heel into the mat, scooch it down, and as it scooches down, it starts to fire the hamstrings. So notice that happening and encourage it to happen. And then firm the quads, try and engage those inner thigh muscles. Good. Toes are lifted. Inhale, lengthen up, and as you exhale, you can start to walk the left hand forward again. Press the right hand into the floor to the right. So just keep those sit bones nicely rooted. Oh, forgot to turn that thigh bone in. I like doing this. I feel there's just this sense of tilt in the pelvis, which helps to tilt us forward. You just re-engage those leg muscles. Just notice what happens when we kind of lose our focus on what we're doing. Things tend to, I call it dropping off, things tend to drop off, hopefully not literally. But the engagement and the action of the muscles, the tissues, just tends to kind of fall away and forget. We just need to reboot. Okay, take 3 more breaths here. Okay, and then inhale, come back to upright. You can bring this left leg in. We are going to finish with, a different type of Sukhasana, which translates as easeful pose. Okay, so if you know that this pose isn't for you, if you tend to find that your knees are up here and you're not getting a lot out of it, Eye of the Needle is the pose for you, and I apologise for the repetition of it, but it really is the one to start with if you find that your external rotators are quite tight, or even that your adductors are quite tight. Okay, but we're going to start in easy pose, easeful pose. So we're crossing our legs at the shins, and I want the right leg in front to begin with. The knees are in line with the feet, or the feet are in line with the knees, but the feet don't have to be under the knees, okay? They're just kind of on the same plane. And I want you to flex your feet so that you're actively pressing the outside edges of your feet into the mat. Okay? Good. So from here, what I'm actually going to ask you to do is bring your arms underneath your knees. Okay? So normally in Sukhasana, we get here and then we kind of fold forward. Well, we're not doing that today. What we're going to do is actually just bring the arms underneath the knees this way. It's like you're cradling them. And then I want you to start by drawing them up towards you. So as you inhale, just start to pull them up. Good. And then as you exhale, I want you to actively press the knees down into the arms so they're resisting. Okay, so again, we've got resistance, so we've got action. So you're still drawing the knees up with the arms, but you're actively pressing down with the knees. And again, you'll start to notice your external rotators firing in the glutes. This is good. So we're stretching them so that they're getting a good little bit of length, but we're doing it in a way that's active. So we're also bringing a little bit of strength to them as well. So again, let's take 3 more breaths. Good. Okay, exhale, release. Change the cross of the legs. Now I should say very quickly before we go on this side, if you find that you didn't really get very much out of that, instead of Sukhasana, you can bring the right foot on top of the left knee into a log stack, okay? And then you do it with one leg on each side. So same kind of thing, you draw the right knee up and press down, okay? And you might find a little bit more action in log stack. Anyway, so if that's for you, you can always stop the video and then crack on with us. So left leg crosses in front of the right, feet are flexed, feet are level with the knees. Good. And again, we're just going to cradle the knees, drawing them under the knees, and as you inhale, just gently draw them up towards you, and as you exhale, start to press them into the arms. So be nice and strong. Okay, you do want some action, you want stuff to happen here. You're creating that resistance, but breathe with it. Good. 2 more breaths. Okay, and exhale, release. Good. If you want to come into a forward fold, just finishing there, you're very welcome. We'll come on this side. Just a couple of breaths. Good. You can change the cross of the legs again. So you'll always generally find that the side with the leg that is in front will be the one that you feel most intensely. It's not always the case. And then inhale, and back to upright. Well done, good stuff. So that's your lengthening sequence for week 3. I hope you enjoy it, I hope you stick at it, and I really hope you're feeling the benefits. I really do think you will, and I think you'll enjoy having that extra little bit of strength around the pelvic area. So thanks very much.